And welcome to the Summit Arena in Hot Springs, Arkansas, where tonight it's the much anticipated matchup between the Fayetteville Bulldogs and the Conway Wampus Cats for the state championship. The two teams who have been at the top of the rankings throughout the year. The defending state champions, the Fayetteville Bulldogs. The defending state champions, the Fayetteville Bulldogs, undefeated a year ago. They come into tonight's game 25-5. They will be the home team because they were on the top half of the bracket. That's the reason. And now Conway will be the visiting team, 26-2. James Bates bringing his team back to the state finals for the second time in 3 years. Starters being introduced, Mike Adelph, 6-foot junior guard. He was not here 2 years ago, obviously as a junior. Starting for Fayetteville as we will go back and forth between the two squads. Kiko Hadar, the talented point guard for Fayetteville. Now Tishawn Sims introduced for the Conway Wampus Cats. You see him, number 12. Number 24, Taylor Cochran, a 6'3" senior guard. This Fayetteville team is experienced. They go 7 deep. All 7 are seniors. There's Preston Purifoy, 6'5" senior that wants this state championship. Adam Noble, 6'5" senior forward for Fayetteville. They got one a year ago. This Conway squad, when they got on campus, they had one goal: win a state championship, or 2, or 3. And there's the answer to the question: is Keon McNeil going to start? And the answer is yes. 32, with a heavily taped right wrist, is going to start. Jacob Baxter, 6'4" senior forward. Now the centers, Colt Faison, 6'5" junior forward. And number 44, Colton Prim, 6'7" senior center for Fayetteville. Fayetteville and Conway from the Summit Arena. That is absolutely packed tonight. Just a great crowd. The Conway student section, as you might expect, is filling their section and spilling over a little bit into a standing area behind them. But a great crowd on hand from both Fayetteville and Conway. The Fayetteville girls will play following this game against North Little Rock. Jim Files is not with us again this week. Stats, Scott Taylor is with me. He'll be keeping an eye on the stats and telling us anything that we'll need to pay attention to. Like last week, a couple of very odd things that happened in what was a quirky game anyway. There was only one free throw shot until overtime by Little Rock Central. And then all the points in the second half and the overtime were scored by Preston Purifoy. He scored every point in the second half except for the 2 free throws that Mike Adelph hit at the end of overtime. So some oddities last week. Stats had an eye on all that for us. He'll do the same tonight, and we are underway in the 7A state championship from Hot Springs. Kiko Hadar, the point guard for this Fayetteville squad, is number 3. Keep an eye on him. Fayetteville is big. They go 6'7", 6'5", 6'4". Knocked away. Keon McNeil using his left hand. Knocked it away. Preston Purifoy loses control of it out of bounds. It's going to stay on that end. Keep an eye on number 32, Keon McNeil. Of course, it's the right wrist that he injured last week, taking that fall. So we'll see even when he throws this ball in if he's favoring the left hand. Got to get it in. He can't. Got to burn a timeout in the first 30 seconds because they could not. 5-second call. It was a 5-second call. So a turnover early on. Conway could not get the ball in bounds. Coach James Bates standing in front of the bench. Again, bringing this team back to the state tournament finals. That's Kiko Hadar for 3, no good. Rebound out to Taylor Cochran. He'll kick it back out to Hadar. Blocked. Preston Purifoy went up high with the left hand and knocked it out of bounds. But there is a foul that's going to be called. A personal foul called on Mike Adelph. That's his first. Kiko Hadar is at the line. He will shoot 2. Misses the front. He'll shoot a second. Haydar, born in Lebanon, lives in Fayetteville because his father is on staff at the University of Arkansas and has committed to walk on for Coach John Pelfrey. That's number 3 we're talking about, who's picked up Micah Delph. Delph running the point with the injury to Keon McNeil. Delph strong to the basket, gives it up to Colt Faison. That's McNeil to Faison. Colt Faison with 2 points. Conway on top, 2-1 early on. Haydar inside. Good look inside and a bucket by Adam Noble. 3-2, Fayetteville on top. Fayetteville going for their 6th state title and for back-to-back state titles. Conway going for their 4th and their 1st since 1976. When this senior class got on campus, that was exactly what was expected. Faison on the baseline, can't get it to go. Keon McNeil is fouled, and we'll see how his free throw shooting is early on tonight. Personal foul will be called on Haydar. That's his first. And at the free throw line, Keon McNeil. And he will shoot his free throws left-handed and make the first. Keon McNeil shooting his free throws left-handed following the injury, hits the first one. Misses the second. Obviously not 100% with that wrist, but in the game. Ball is loose and his defense caused a steal there. Senior Keon McNeil would not be left out of this game. Micah Delph knocks it down. 5-3, Conway on top. 5:40 to play, we're in the opening quarter. A packed house at the Summit Arena. Foul will be called on Keon McNeil. That's his first. Kiko Haydar will throw it in from underneath. Out to Cochran. He'll back up and shoot a three-pointer that's short. Colt Faison battles for and gathers up the rebound. Here comes Micah Delph running the point. Micah Delph, the talented junior. It's his team next year. These seniors working hard. Preston Purifoy along the baseline, misses the shot, but will shoot 2 free throws. Noble whistled for the personal foul, his first. Purifoy, who put this team on his back a week ago when his classmate, Keon McNeil, went down. He scored 22 points, 18 in the second half. The team scored 20 in the second half. He scored all but 2. Got them both. Conway shooting 75% from the free throw line, 3 out of 4. This this Fayetteville team had all it wanted a week ago with North Little Rock. And a foul will be called on Colt Faison. He was just in the way as Prim was coming down. Tough call on Colt Faison, his first. They defeated North Little Rock 49-41. They gave everything they wanted. They barely beat Springdale in the first round. Their quarterfinal matchup, their first game, by 2. Haydar, floater in the paint, won't get it. Again, this team goes about 7 deep. All 7 are seniors. All 7 a part of a team a year ago that had an undefeated state championship season. The other storyline that we'll get into in a little while is that their longtime head coach may be coaching his last game tonight. Preston Purifoy knocks it down. He's got 4. 9-3, the Wampus Cats on top by 6. Both teams riding long winning streaks. Out of bounds. And they're going to call a foul on Keon McNeil. That is going to be his second. That's going to bring him out of the game, which would have happened anyway. Xavier Clardy was at the scorer's table to come in, but before he could get in, personal foul number 2 called on McNeil. Wow, lots and lots of fouls called. That's going to be on Xavier Clardy, his first. 7 personal fouls called, and we haven't played half of the first quarter. At the free throw line, Taylor Cochran. He will shoot 2. And missed the first one badly. Give an assist to the student section, which is just to the left of our camera angle. They are absolutely filling those 2 sections that they're given as students of the visiting team. Second one is good. 1 for Cochran, his first point, and it's 9-4 in favor of Conway. 4 minutes to play. We're at the halfway mark of the first quarter of the state championship game. That's Tyshawn Sims. Hadar's got him. Purifoy. Finds Delph, top of the key. Crossover. Delph picks it up, finds Sims. Purifoy on the baseline, double team. Goes up, hangs off the glass. Purifoy has 6, 11-4. Conway on top, 3-pointer no good. Rebound, pulled down by Micah Delph. Conway in transition. All the way to the goal, Tyshawn Sims. It's 13-4, Conway up 9. Fayetteville riding a 15-game winning streak. Conway riding a 16-game winning streak. These are the 2 best big schools in the state. Hadar walks, turnover, and it's a media timeout. We'll take it with them. 2:55 to play in the opening quarter. 60-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
As well as facing, and we're also shooting 75% from the free throw line, so all around good effort so far.
Foul trouble for McNeil. He had 2 early on, one of which looked a little bit cheap, to be honest, but he still has 2. He is on the bench. And Keon McNeil did start tonight and scored a point, shooting a free throw left-handed. Tyshawn Sims! Tyshawn Sims knocks down a 3-pointer. It is 16-4, a 12-point lead for Conway. That's Hadar. They're going to have him get hot. And Prim, who's 6'7", but a good shooter. Jacob Baxter. Back to Hadar. Preston left his feet. Short-armed it, did Prim. Ball loose. Preston away with it. We have the opportunity to call the state championship games from courtside, and what a different look it is courtside, seeing the speed of this game and just the athleticism of these teams, and hopefully we'll be able to convey that properly, but to see it down here is pretty impressive. 1:40 to play in the first quarter. Purifoy on the dribble, in no hurry. That's Sims. Faison picks up his dribble. Got to find somebody to help him. That's Delph. 90 seconds to play, opening quarter. Micah Delph. The Wampus Cats are red hot, shooting 77% from the field. Hadar can't get an open look. Out to Cochran. Glenn Norris and Everett Reed set to come in. Cochran for three. He'll knock that down. Taylor Cochran has 4 points. It's 18-7. It'd been a while since Fayetteville had scored. Conway got it up to a 14-point lead. They're going to say a double dribble on Delph. 37.1 seconds to play in this first quarter. Glenn Norris and Everett Reed into the game. Jack Jones in the game for Fayetteville. We watched this Fayetteville team play last week against North Little Rock in their semifinal game. And their 5 senior starters played, and then the 2 seniors off the bench. And those are the only 7 guys that got in. Conway goes 8 deep, of course. Inside block, they're going to call a foul on Everett Reed. The sophomore whistled for his first. And at the free throw line, Adam Noble. He will shoot 2. It's a good foul. It was an open layup. Didn't get it to go, and so Adam Noble will shoot 2 free throws and get the first. 3 points for the senior. This team also a year ago included Fred Gurley, who now is playing for Oklahoma State. He was on the bubble of the NCAA tournament. Adam Noble knocks down both free throws, 4 points. 18-9. Last 5 points have been scored by Fayetteville. Conway had a 14-point lead, 18-4. 10 seconds to play in the quarter. Sims has it knocked away, down to 3. Hadar's going to try to get a shot up at the end of the quarter. It's knocked out of bounds. They're going to say it's Fayetteville ball. No foul called. Less than a second to play in the first quarter. It's 18-9. And the last play before the end of the quarter. A 3-pointer that will count if it goes, and it does. That's a big basket right there by Jacob Baxter. It makes the lead from 18-9 to 18-12. So it's down to 6. We'll take a 60-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. As we begin the second quarter, 18-12, Conway's got the lead. In stats, the quarter ended good for Fayetteville.
Yeah, it did, and they're shooting still 33% from the floor, but they did cut it to that lead at the end. We're still shooting 77%. You think we may have a bigger lead than we have, but Preston's still leading away with 6. Sims has 5. Delph with 4.
18-12 is our score. The biggest lead was 14. It was 18-4, and Fayetteville scored the final 8 points of that first quarter to cut the lead to 6. There's going to be another foul called again on Conway. That's on Clardy. Xavier Clardy whistled for his second personal foul. He and McNeil both have 2. Big 3-pointer at the end of the first quarter. Hadar gets a shot at it, knocks it down. Kiko Hadar, he's got 4. And they've scored 11 straight to make it 18-15. Whistle on Jack Jones, his first. 7:23 to play in the first half. Conway leads 18-15. They haven't scored in a while. Purifoy up strong off the glass. Purifoy has 8. Keon McNeil still on the bench. Colt Faison at the scorer's table to come in. That's Hadar again. Rims out, no good. Offensive board to Fayetteville. That's Cochran. Inside to Noble. Can't get it to go. Out of bounds. Going to remain Fayetteville's ball. Colt Faison checks back in. 6'5" junior forward for Conway. Clardy out of the game with his 2 personal fouls. McNeil at the scorer's table to check in at the next whistle. Delph on Hadar. Good move, but they're going to say he didn't walk with the basketball, and then he got the timeout. So Fayetteville is going to retain possession. We'll take the timeout with them. The 30-second break on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. 20-15, Conway leads. Fayetteville used a timeout there. Fayetteville has 4 left. Hadar to throw it in, and does into the backcourt where Cochran has it. That's Baxter. Hadar. McNeil came in following the timeout. Again, Keon started. The right hand is not 100%. He had to shoot his free throws left-handed. Made 1 of 2 in the first quarter. Good patient possession by Fayetteville, trailing by 5. Jones skip past to Hadar, 4-3. Quick shot. He's got 7. Got that quick release. Fayetteville shooting 38.5% from the field. Conway shooting 80% from the field. Micah Delph. He's got 6. The running one-hander. Jacob Baxter over talking to Coach Gebhardt, making his case about something. Everett Reed, the sophomore, gathers up the board. Purifoy out on the wing. Coach Gebhardt this week compared him to LeBron James, saying what LeBron is to the NBA, that's the way Preston Purifoy plays at the 7A level. Physical, can shoot outside. Great athleticism, and proved it there. He's got 10 points. Conway leads 24-18. Hadar. Got McNeil and Delph both on him. The 2-3 zone, they kind of match up a little bit out of it. Double team. Inside, strong move to the basket. Jacob Baxter has 5 points. Not sure what the whistle is. Official delay warning. Delay warning. Stats is writing down on number 33, Adam Noble, for Fayetteville. It's 24-20. A little full court pressure. They're going to back off now. Again, Fayetteville going for back-to-back state titles in what could be Coach Barry Gebhardt's final game. He'll have a decision to make at the end of the season, whether to remain basketball coach and athletic director, or just athletic director, maybe just coach, but there is a chance that the career of Barry Gebhardt could end tonight. 18 seasons as head coach of the Fayetteville Bulldogs, and that's going to be the 3rd personal foul on Keon McNeil. We didn't know how much we would see Keon McNeil play tonight, but we thought it would be because of the right wrist, not because of the whistle of the officials. But that's going to be the case. Keon's going to have to come out, and Tyshawn Sims back in. Only 3 team fouls called against Fayetteville at this point. 8 called against Conway, and with 4:07 to play in the first half. Fayetteville shooting 1-1. Jacob Baxter misses the front end. (24-20), halfway through the second quarter. Jones on Delph. Out to Tyshawn Sims. Tyshawn hit a big three-pointer earlier. Purifoy double team. Preston dribbles out of it. Loses control. There'll be a foul called. That's the 4th on the Fayetteville Bulldogs as a team. That will be the 1st on Jacob Baxter, and there is a timeout on the court. Let's take it with them. 60-second break. Conway leads by 4 on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. Conway students having a good time. They notice they're on television. That's good. Again, fantastic dancers here for the Wampus Cats, some of the football players over there. 24-20, Conway leads Fayetteville. Shooting percentage up to 40% now for Fayetteville. Conway shooting an unbelievable 83% from the field. That's remarkable, and for a 4-point lead, That's maybe even more remarkable that it's not more than that, shooting 83%. Conway basketball underneath. T-Shawn Sims into Purifoy. Preston can't get it to go. He'll go to the free throw line. He's got 10 points. And Adam Noble whistled for his second personal foul. And Preston Purifoy, who knocked down 2 free throws in the first quarter. $11 points for Preston Purifoy. Colton Prim checks back in. You look at these numbers and see a 5-point lead and a Conway team that's shooting 83% to only 40% for Fayetteville. The difference is the 3-point line. Conway's hit 1 of 1 from the 3-point line. Both free throws good. That's 12 for Purifoy. Whereas Fayetteville has hit 4 from distance. 4 out of 8. Cut a deficit quickly when you're hitting from beyond the 3-point line. There are 2 stripes on the court if you're not familiar with that. The outside line is the NCAA 3-point line for the men's game. The inside line is what high schools use and what the NCAA women use. Strong move to the basket. 2 tries at it, won't go. Rebound to Purifoy. He'll give it up to Delph. We'll bring it up court. If you're wondering about the Sun Belt Conference logo at midcourt, that comes from the Sun Belt Conference basketball tournament that was held in this building last weekend. Kept the court down. And Middle Tennessee ladies and North Texas men winning Sun Belt Conference championships on this court on Tuesday. Micah Delph has got 8 points. 28-20, an 8-point lead. Hadar thought about it. A 17-foot jumper that goes for Jacob Baxter. 7 points for Baxter. We've got 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. It's a 6-point game. Jones on Delph. Out to Faison, who comes way out. Again, if you're just joining us, wondering about McNeil, Keon started, played, made 1 of 2 free throws. It was left-handed. Not able to do much with the right hand, but he's picked up 3 personal fouls and is on the bench with those 3 fouls. Turnover gives the ball back to Fayetteville. And the Bulldogs bring it across the timeline. It's a remarkable run for this senior class. And again, their top 7 players, all seniors, they have gone 72-12 in their 3 years on the Fayetteville campus. Colt Faison whistled for a foul. That's his second. And Jacob Baxter at the line. He'll shoot 2. 8 points for Baxter. And he leads the way with 9 for Fayetteville. A little pressure following the made free throw. Double team, Sims will have it. It's going to be a foul called on Hadar, and I believe that's his second. Kiko Hadar whistled for his second personal foul. That is the 6th against Fayetteville, so that will not be a shooting situation for the Wampus Cats. Xavier Clardy back in the game. Public address announcer calling him Xavier Clarity. But unless we've called it wrong all year, and I think someone would have corrected us by now, we're going to go with Xavier Clardy as we have this season. Xavier Clardy has his shot blocked by Cochran. 28-24, a 4-point game, and Fayetteville can cut the lead out of bounds. Going to remain Bulldog basketball. Talked to BJ Mack before the game. He's Arkansas Sports Performance, and he said, we got Cats and Dogs coming up. And I said, yeah, these two schools met in the first round of the state football playoffs, and it was a game that Conway will never remember or never forget. Everett Reed with 2 as Xavier Acklin scored through that long touchdown pass to end that one. And they're well on their way to another great one tonight between these two schools. 30-24, Conway leads by 6. Turnover on Fayetteville. Conway ball. 1 minute to play in the first half. Coach Barry Gebhardt, who you'll see coming your screen right there at the top, not happy about the lack of a walking call in the last possession by Conway. He's still not happy. That'll be the 7th team foul, and that's going to be called on Jack Jones, his second. So Hadar, Noble, and Jones all with 2 for Fayetteville. Micah Delph at the free throw line. And he will shoot 1 and 1. Nine points for Delph. Biggest lead was 14. It was 18-4. And then Fayetteville scored 11 straight to make it 18-15. And it's been tight ever since. Micah Delph joins Preston Purefoy in double figures. He has 10. 45 seconds to play in the first half. Conway leads 32-24. Coach Gebhardt is fine with Fayetteville taking their time. 30 seconds to go. That's Hadar. Interesting young man. He's Lebanese descent, has a 4.3 grade point average, got a 32 on his ACT. He said he grew up in Bud Walton Arena, and that's why he wants to play for the Razorbacks, even if it means a walk-on role, and that's what he'll do for John Pelfrey next fall. Final seconds, stolen away. Micah Delph all the way to the basket, misses, and they're going to call basket interference, so no basket. Chance for the Wampus Cats to get 2 more there. Could have made it a 10-point lead. They gave up a 3-pointer at the end of the first quarter. Got to be careful, don't allow the same thing here. Cochran puts it up. It will not count. It doesn't go anyway. And we've played one half of basketball in the state championship game. Conway, 32. Fayetteville, 24. We'll take a 60-second break and have the halftime stats in the third quarter for you on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. It is halftime from Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's the Summit Arena. And as we look on at the court, halftime 32-24 is our score. Something to watch for. Micah Delph is stretching out something, whether it's his hamstring or calf, or you can't really tell, but Brooke Mines, the athletic trainer for the Wampus Cats, is working with him and kind of watching him do some movement. I don't know if there was something that happened or not. I was watching for Keon McNeil to see if he was going to be shooting at all, but you can see there on your screen Micah Delph jumping as Brooke Mines keeps an eye on him, and we'll keep an eye on that. Got stats with me. Let's take a look at the first half numbers. It's a 32-24 lead. It could have been a lot more.
I believe so, Jeff. We shot 75% from the field, and we did shoot 100% from three-point range. Unfortunately, we only shot 1 shot. So,
yeah, T-Sean Sims.
And that's where they made up the difference. They were 4 for 8 from three-point line for 50%, which is an outstanding shooting percentage from three-point range. They only shot 38.9% from the field. They did have a couple more shots than we did, and we kind of pride ourselves on taking more shots. We usually get more shots than the other teams.
Right.
But Preston led the way with 12 points, and Micah Delph had 10, and Tayshawn Sims had 5. And on their end, the Hader had 7. He led the way, and then they had a couple. Baxter actually had 9, number 34, and Cochran and Noble both had 4.
Some interesting numbers to look at. Not only the three-pointers, you talked about a 12-3 point advantage there, if you will. They've hit 4, we've hit 1. But in the paint, Conway is outscoring Fayetteville 16-4. Our interior defense has been really, really strong. They're scoring off turnovers. 11 of their points have come off of turnovers, and 7 on second chances. So we've done good in the paint. 7 of those points that they've scored have come following a second try at it. And as we begin quarter number 3, the ball goes out of bounds, and Fayetteville will retain possession of the basketball. 7:52 to play. 5 starters back on the court for both squads, and that includes Keon McNeil, who's playing with 3 personal fouls. Stolen away by T-Sean Sims. T-Sean has it not blocked. I thought he had it blocked, but it wasn't. And Fayetteville is going to have it, a missed opportunity for the Wampus Cats. Cochran kicks it out to Hadar. Kiko all the way to the basket. Layup won't go. Loose ball tipped out to Cochran. And Cochran went up, stayed up in the air enough to get Colt Faison to commit. Faison whistled for the personal foul, his third. So Keon McNeil and Colt Faison both have 3 personal fouls. And this Conway team will go to the bench about 3 deep. But one of those players, Clardy, has 2 personal fouls as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That is certainly a part of it. Cochran shooting 3 free throws. He was behind the line when he was fouled. 32-25. Conway again going for their first state championship since 1976. 2 of the 3 free throws are missed, so a good foul by Colt Faison. Unfortunately, it was his third. That part wasn't good. That's Purifoy to McNeil. Keon McNeil shot it with his right hand, miss. He picks up Hadar defensively. Colton Prim, his first 2 points of the night for the 6'7" senior. It's 32-27. Conway offensively is right in front of our broadcast position, so we'll be able to keep an eye on Keon McNeil. Tyshawn Sims loses control of it, and Cochran turned it over. And that's what Barry Gebhardt is screaming about, wondering what that call was. And again, this may be it for Barry Gebhardt. He is not announced, of course, but he'll do something, whether it's take over the athletic director job full-time, which he's doing now along with coaching, or hang it up following tonight's game. He's coached for 18 years, going for back-to-back state championships. Preston Purifoy got hit and got the bucket. 14 points now for the senior Purifoy, who he is playing his final game in the blue of the Conway Wampus Cats tonight, and he wants to hold the trophy high. Personal foul is called. Xavier Clardy, now he's got 3. There's still 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Conway's got 3 players with 3 personal fouls. That is going to change the complexion of this game. Prim hits the free throw. He's got 3 points, all of them, here in the second half. If that changes the aggressiveness of the Conway team defensively, we'll keep an eye out and see. (34-29). Delph, whatever it was that they were working on, no signs of it bothering him. They're going to back off of Keon. They know they're not going to pressure him too much when he's got the ball on the perimeter. Preston falls. Fayetteville in transition. 34-29, a 5-point lead for the Wampus Cats. State championship game from Hot Springs. Preston Purifoy is going to be called for the personal foul. That's his first. Colton Prim hits the bucket. He's got 6 and will go to the line. Fayetteville owning the third quarter, and Coach James Bates wants to stop it. Let's take a 30-second break with him and come back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. It was 32-24 at halftime. It's 34-31 now, and Colton Prim going to the line. He has already scored 6 points in this quarter in just 3 minutes. Misses the free throw. Looked like could have been a foul called there. There was not one. And Micah Delph bring the ball up. That's Sims. He's hit the only 3-pointer tonight for the Wampus Cats. Going to be a foul called underneath. That's on Adam Noble. That's his third, as he was battling Purifoy. And again, this is our broadcast position is close enough to be able to see and hear a lot of what we miss upstairs. And it's a different ball game down here. Much more physical than I think we're able to see upstairs. Micah Delph misses. Shot is tipped. Clardy got the rebound and drew the foul. Good, strong rebound. Colton Prim whistled for the foul. That's his first. Delph will throw it in bounds. And now they're going to call a foul on Conway. My goodness, that's Clardy's fourth. Away from the ball. So Everett Reed's going to have to come in for Clardy. So Clardy is out with 4 personal fouls. Everett Reed back in. 4.5 to play in the third quarter. Well, Jacob Baxter did all that himself. He's got 11 points, his first 2 of the second half. And it's a 1-point game, 34-33. Conway led by 8 at halftime. Their biggest lead was 14 when they led 18-4. Micah Delph stops and pops off the glass. 12 points from Micah Delph. Again, it is a packed house at the Summit Arena. Preston Purifoy whistled for his second. And we have a media timeout. It's a 3-point game. Conway on top. 60-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. All right, the student section for the Wampus Cats, and there are a ton of them making all kinds of noise over there. 36-33, Conway leads. Stats is here with me. It's been all Fayetteville in the second half.
Been all Fayetteville. We're going in the wrong direction on the field goal percentage. They're shooting at 45.5% now, and we still shooting at 66.7. But the fouls, I don't want to say anything about the refs, but it seems like we're getting picked up for more of a ticky-tack variety than they are.
Yeah,
but,
I would agree with that. It has been a lot of fouls called, and some that, were maybe a little questionable at best. First free throw is good by Adam Noble. He's got 5 points. Hits them both. In the second half of these state championship games, you're shooting towards your own end. So you're shooting into your student section, which is a whole lot easier. It's a 1-point game, 36-35. Foul situation, 5 against Conway. Only 2 in this half called on Fayetteville. Purifoy out on the wing. Keon McNeil is in. That right wrist taped heavily. He's only attempted 1 field goal. He missed that. He shot 2 free throws left-handed. Again, if you're wondering why we're making a big deal out of that, he was injured early in the state semifinal game against Central and was unable to continue playing. Micah Delph hits a huge 3-point basket. Conway needed those points and just a little bit of offensive momentum. 39-35. But there was speculation all week whether or not McNeil would play. He has played. He's had foul trouble, so that's really what's kept him on the bench more than the wrist. He's playing with 3. Now Conway's going to have to be careful underneath. That's exactly what we were afraid of. 8 points now for Noble. All the fouls that have been called, they can't be aggressive defensively. 2:20 to play. And Coach Bates is fine. He says, let's slow it down. Let the clock run. Purifoy. lost it for just a second, and that's a double dribble call that was obstructed from my view, but there's enough Conway fans on the other side who did not agree with the call that makes me think that maybe it was the wrong one. 2 minutes to play in a 2-point game, 39-37. We're in the third quarter of the state championship game. Fayetteville looking to go back-to-back state championships. Conway looking for their first since 1976. Hadar. Jump shot won't go. No over the back call. Loose ball. Micah Delph away with it. Everett Reed. There'll be a block called on Hadar. That's going to send Everett Reed to the free throw line to shoot 2. And that is going to be the third on Hadar. Kiko Hadar, who is the leader of this team, the leader of a team that's filled with seniors, filled with a group of guys that won a state championship last year, but Hadar is the leader. He's got 3 personal fouls. Everett Reed, in and out. Reed, a sophomore. He and Xavier Clardy, both sophomores, paired with this group of seniors that, again, when they got on campus, that was the talk. This is the group. This is the group that's going to get us our first state championships since the 70s. And I did mean that when I said championships. That was the expectation when they got on campus. They got close. Now they want to finish it off. Both free throws missed by Everett Reed. It's still a 2-point game. Fayetteville has not led since they led 1-0 in the first minute of the game. Tie ball game. Cochran has got 7 with 1:11 to play in the third quarter. We are tied at 39. Block will be called on Cochran, his first. Team foul number 4 on Fayetteville, 5 on Conway. Neither team in the bonus in the second half with 1:05 to play in the third quarter. Keon McNeil is out. Glenn Norris is in. That's Delph. Tyshawn Sims in and out. It went halfway down. Sims, the junior guard, knocked down a 3-pointer earlier. Micah Delph has hit one in the second half. Hadar. He's got 9 points, and that gives Fayetteville a 41-39 lead. The first lead they have had since it was 1-0. Another personal foul called. That's on Cochran, his second. And it will be 5 team fouls now on both squads in the final 35 seconds of the third quarter. Preston Purifoy, and 1. Preston Purifoy with 17 and goes to the line. Colton Prim whistled for the foul. That's his second. And Preston Purifoy, 4 of 4 from the free throw line tonight. A chance to get his 17th point. And does. 17 for Purifoy, 15 for Delph. It's a 1-point game with 23 seconds to play in the third quarter. As good a game as we expected. Conway pulled out to that 14-point lead. It has been tied ever since. Fayetteville scored 11 straight to cut the lead to 3. Long pass to Hadar. What's the call? Stepped out of bounds. Stepped out of bounds. So Conway with a chance to get the final shot here. 5.8 seconds to play in the third quarter. Glenn Norris will throw it in. Dangerous pass to Purifoy. Preston Purifoy. Glenn Norris. It was right there. Glenn misses the follow, and we go to the fourth quarter. As good as expected. Conway 42, Fayetteville 41. 60-second break in the fourth quarter of the state championship game is next on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. The Wampus Cat and the Students, 42-41. Conway leads over Fayetteville. Stats, let's look at some of those third quarter statistics. It's a tight game, and from the field goal percentage, that's been a part of the story. They're up to 50% now.
They are up to 50. We're at 66.7, kind of hanging right there, led by Preston Purefoy with 17, and Michael Delph has 15. We expected that. Got to get something from someone else, I believe. Tayshawn has 5, and Colt Faison and Everett Reed has 2 apiece, but we need to get a little bit more help from someone. It looked like Purefoy is going to put it on his shoulders like it tried to do last week, I think.
42-41. Conway leads by a point. It's the state championship game. Colt Faison way out away from the basket. Got to get rid of the basketball. Does to Purefoy. Preston behind his back, spins, shoots, and 1. Preston Purefoy now with 19 points. A blocking call on Jacob Baxter, his second, team 7th. Conway will be in the bonus for the rest of the game. Conway leads 44-41. Purefoy at the line to make it 20 points. The senior going out just the way you would think the senior would. Purefoy with 20 tonight. 15 for Delph, the lead back to 4 for Conway, 45-41. Hadar, no good. Rebound tipped. Sims can't gather it up. Fayetteville's got it. Double team, that's out to Jones. Misses badly. Another try at it, and that's a second chance point, a third chance point that time. Adam Noble in double figures with 10. It's 45-43. Sims from 15 feet, no good. Micah Delph's long arms get in there and draws a foul. Personal foul is going to be called on Fayetteville. It's their 8th team foul. That one's going to be on Adam Noble, his 4th. The attendance has just been announced. It's the biggest crowd of the weekend. No surprise, 5,943 people here tonight to watch the 7A Boys State Championship game between Conway and Fayetteville, the two teams who were 1-2 all season long. Micah Delph, 16 points. His father, legendary basketball player Marvin Delph, saw him before the game. Keon McNeil back in. The senior on the court for the final 7 minutes of the game. 46-43, Conway by 3. Got them both. 17 for Delph. It's a 4-point game. That's Hadar, number 3. Passes over to Cochran. See him battling underneath. Long three-pointer from Hadar is short. Keon McNeil's able to gather it up. He kind of used his left hand more than his right and used his chest, obviously favoring that right hand. Hasn't been able to go right. Purefoy and Delph have picked him up offensively. Micah Delph, the junior, with 19 points. 6-point lead for the Wampus Cats. Almost another steal. Timeout situation, both teams have 4. You imagine they're going to be used over the next 6 minutes. State championship game. Conway has won 16 in a row. Fayetteville has won 15 in a row. Almost a walk on Cochran. Tipped out, Purefoy away with it. Under 6 minutes to play. Delph pressured in the backcourt, and now they'll back off. Micah Delph, who has been hot, he's got 19 points, bringing the ball up, playing point guard tonight. So Keon McNeil can play off the basketball. Delph with the left hand. Timeout, Fayetteville. Conway red hot in the fourth quarter. They've stretched the lead to 8. Let's take a 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. The roller coaster that has been an exciting season as Ben Reiner leads it in the Conway students, and there is a bunch of them. He and Chase Calcagney leading the way there. Stats is here. It's a 51-43 lead. You kind of can exhale a little bit, but you know this Fayetteville team can shave that quickly.
Oh, I think there's another run left. It's gonna come down to the end on this game, Jeff. And we harped on the three-point shooting in the first half. They're still stuck on 4, and let's hope they stay that way. They're 4 out of 10 now, shooting from three-point range, and we're 2 out of 3. So we're kind of catching up in that category. But again, it's Micah Duff with 21. Preston's got 20. Still wait for somebody else to step up. Hey, if they keep doing that, we don't need them to do it.
Right.
We can ride that.
But it would be nice to get some points out of somebody else just to help take the burden off of them a little bit. But they've thrown them on their shoulders and said, let's go, boys. We're this close to a state championship. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Conway by 8, 51-43. In the paint where a lot of their points have come from, and 2 more do right there. That's Jacob Baxter. He's got 13. It's 51-45, 5 minutes to play. And Stats, I believe you're right. I think there is another run in this Fayetteville Bulldog squad. Keon McNeil, and that walk is absolutely a result of that wrist injury. Any time else that we've seen Keon McNeil the past 3 years, he goes up, soft touch off the glass, and that's 2 points, and we're jogging down the court. Just doesn't feel the confidence to put that shot up. Instead, got a little off kilter and walked with the basketball. Loose ball that Preston comes up with, and that's going to be 4 on Hadar. Diving for the ball, the senior whistled for his 4th personal foul, and Preston Purifoy will go to the line. 51-45, Preston Purifoy committed to play his collegiate basketball for Mike Davis, the University of Alabama, Birmingham, to play for the Blazers in Conference USA. There is an interested spectator that's seated right behind us who has a new job. Former Razorback and new UCA basketball coach Corliss Williamson is seated courtside right behind us. I fully expected to see him, and he is here watching a lot of seniors on the court and potential future Bears. 22 points now for Preston Purifoy to go along with the 21 for Delph. 53-45. Conway on top. 4.5 to play in the 2010 state championship game. Going to be a whistle and a foul underneath on Conway. I believe that's on Purifoy. That'll be his 3rd. And that is 6th team foul, so they'll throw the ball in. And another block. That's going to be on Clardy, and that's 5. That one is going to send Xavier Clardy to the bench. So Xavier Clardy fouls out with 4:28 to play and scoring no points tonight. Conway has a short bench, as you know if you watch this team. They go 8 deep pretty consistently. Now they only have 7 players available. McNeil, Purifoy, and Faison all with 3 personal fouls. McNeil is on the bench, seated next to Clardy. First free throw good by Cochran. Coach James Bates trying to win his first state championship. 8 points for Cochran. He'll get another one. Both are good. He's got 9. Six-point game, 53-47. Over 5,900 people here tonight to watch Conway and Fayetteville. Purifoy to Faison. Cold in the paint. Turnover. .407 to play. We have played half of the 4th quarter. Conway led by 6 at the end of 1. They led by 8 at the end of 2. They led by 1 at the end of 3. Preston Purifoy with the block. Micah Delph will go to the line. That is the 5th personal foul on Adam Noble. He will have to sit down, and we have to take a media timeout. 3:54 to play. There's going to be a media timeout after they make the substitution for Adam Noble, who fouls out. And that's a big loss for Fayetteville. He scored 10 points tonight. 3:54 to play. Let's take 30 seconds, and we're back to Summit Arena in Hot Springs on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. Students hanging in there, 53-47. Conway leads. Let's take a look at some of the stats as we have them now. 22 and 21 from Purefoy and Delph. And not much else for anybody else.
That's the story, Jeff. And if you can believe this, Micah Delph is shooting 8 from 9 from the field, and Purefoy is shooting 7 for 9 from the field.
Just an outstanding.
That's just an outstanding effort. And we needed every point because, everybody's playing hard. You know that. They're playing hard defense, but we needed every one of those points.
There we are on the television, in case you were curious.
Okay.
I know you love to be on TV. But that gives you an idea of where we are. We are courtside. Hey, Doug. We are courtside here. And, oh, that's embarrassing. I've got the same shirt on tonight that I do in all those commercials.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's
we'll forgive you for that.
Thank you. You wouldn't let me wear my Channel 5 shirt because the last time we called the state championship game, I wasn't wearing one, and you're Mr. Superstition.
And I had my orange one on, so you notice I have my blue one
That's
on tonight.
right. Micah Delph has got 22 points. He and Preston Purefoy with 44 of the 54 tonight for Conway. Keon McNeil is in the game along with Everett Reed. Colt Faison, Preston Purefoy, who I don't think has sat down yet, and Micah Delph, who hits them both. 23 points for the junior. 3:50 to play, 55-47. Hadar plays with 4 personal fouls, stops and shoots. He's got 11 points, only 4 in the second half. They've done a great job on the leader of this Fayetteville team. Delph. Timeout, Conway. Let's take a 30-second break along with them, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. The Conway bench, and you can see him right behind the bench. Coach Buzz Boulding with his arms folded, the outgoing athletic director for the Wampus Cats. Steve Daniels will take over for him at the end of the year. And what a way to go out it would be if in 3.5 minutes the Wampus Cats have won a state championship. A lot of basketball to play. Call on Fayetteville. 3.5 to go. It's a 6-point lead. Taylor Cochran whistled for his 3rd personal foul. That is the 10th on Fayetteville, so that means 2 free throws upcoming for Everett Reed. He missed 2 free throws earlier. This is 3 in a row. Keon McNeil in, Tyshawn Sims out. Reed, the sophomore, 6 foot. Probably play his way into the starting lineup next year. There you go. Used his knees a little more. Has his 3rd point of the night. And it's 56-49. 3:20 to play. Hadar with Preston on him. Now he dribbles out of it. Ball is up high. 2 shots upcoming for Hadar. And that foul will be the 8th team foul. It's going to be on Keon McNeil. He'll play with 4 personal fouls here. Actually, he won't because he'll be coming out following Hadar, who will shoot 2 free throws. 11 for Hadar. Misses the first with 3:06 to play. Again, these 7 guys that have all played for Fayetteville tonight, Both free throws missed by the senior Hadar. And a personal foul called on Jacob Baxter. That's his third. Colt Faison will go to the free throw line. Every free throw from here on out is 2 for the Wampus Cats. Wondering who Fayetteville is going to foul. We're starting early on that. 3:05 to go, 7-point game. The key is going to be Conway to knock these down. Everett Reed hit 1 of 2 the last time he was at the free throw line. Colt Faison, 3 points for the junior. Got them both. Got them both. He's got 4 points, and the lead is 9, 58 to 49. Three-pointer by Jones, a little strong. Sims had it. It was knocked away by Cochran. That's a big three-pointer by Taylor Cochran. He's got 12 points. 30-second timeout called by Coach Barry Gebhardt. We'll keep it here. 2:46 to play. Conway leads by 6. Let's bring stats on here. 58 to 52. And you were making some notes there about the foul strategy, and if it was a little bit early for that, they got 1 more point there than we did on that possession. Faison hit the 2. They got the three-pointer. 6-point lead. They just don't go very deep. If they're going to start fouling, they can end up players coming in.
Yeah.
They haven't played at all.
Right, hadn't played all night, so that might backfire on them. They start a little early on that. But, of course, if they get some misses, that's what they're looking for. We got to knock them down like Colt did on that last time up there. We got to get those rebounds, though. We can't give them second and third shots at the basket. That's what we got on that last possession.
And that's what they have had a lot of tonight, second chance points. And 15 second chance points tonight for Fayetteville, only 3 for the Wampus Cats. 2:46 to go in a 6-point game. The state championship is what these two teams are playing for. Fayetteville High School will play the following game as well when the girls play North Little Rock. Purifoy, guarded by Cochran, picks up his dribble to Faison. Colt will dribble back out. A week ago, a similar situation. He dribbled all the way in and was called for a charge. This time, he pulled it out. Micah Delph keeps his dribble to Sims, to Preston. And now Coach Gebhardt saying you got to foul. 2 minutes to play. And there's the foul. Preston will go to the line. That's the 4th on Cochran. Hadar has 4 also. And Preston Purifoy goes to the line, where he has been perfect from the free throw line tonight. Preston 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Did it last week, I did it this week, didn't I? I feel like I have a job to do. I wore the different shirt, isn't that enough? Purifoy, he's got 22 points. He'll bend his knees and knock this one home. Off the back of the rim, 2 big misses. 2 minutes to play. The foul strategy worked on that possession. Clock will stop with 1:58 to go. Micah Delph called for his second. And at the free throw line, Jacob Baxter. Well, he's hit 2 free throws in a row. A professional broadcaster. Jinx and all. 13 points for Baxter. 1:58 to go. Again, the announced attendance, 5,935 people. Here, 43 people. I shorted them 8. Both free throws missed. Loose ball underneath. Conway has it. Delph trying to get out of all that mess. Picked up his dribble. Got to get rid of it. Timeout. Conway will have 2 remaining. We'll take it with them here. 58-52. Conway leads by 6. 1:50 to go in the game. 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation Channel 5 Sports. The the Wampus Cat and some of the students dancing right now, leading by 6. And Stats, you just said it during the break there. There's a bottom line over the next minute and 50 seconds. If the Wampus Cats do this, they will do that.
Make free throws, win game. Also, no turnovers.
Win a state okay, that's one more. That's right. No turnovers, hit the free throws, win a state championship.
And it was shocking to see Preston hardly ever misses free throws. I know he's tired, though. He hadn't come out 1 second tonight.
Yeah, no, he's been out for hard.
But he shot 8 for 10 from the line. So I know he's got to be sucking, getting his second breath right now. But we need him.
But those Wampus Cat fans behind him, the students to our left, and there are Wampus Cat fans all around this building. 5,900 people here making a lot of noise, and they have seen an outstanding high school basketball game. Sims gets it into Colt Faison. They'll look to foul, and they'll foul Colt Faison. Colt go to the line to shoot 2. Colt Faison at the free throw line. First one missed. Stephen Graves whistled for the personal foul. Hayter back in the game. He went out with those 4 personal fouls so that he wouldn't commit the foul. Second free throw good by Faison. He's got 5 points. It is a 7-point game. A 3-possession game with 1:40 to play. Conway looking for their first state championship since 1976. Blocked by Preston Purifoy. They're going to call the foul, though, on Everett Reed. That'll be the second on Reed. Colton Prim will shoot 2. He started the second half on fire. He scored 6 points early in the third quarter. He's been quiet since and then misses that free throw badly. Got a rebound, the misses. Tyler Tuck is checking in. Also, his job is going to be foul. Number 14 is who we're talking about there. 7-point game, Colton Prim at the line. Again, 2 misses, and Colt Faison goes up strong and finally draws the foul. Colt Faison grabs the rebound of his career and will go to the line to shoot 2. Rebound, knock down your free throws. You carry the state championship trophy off the court in a few minutes. They're that close. Faison has got 5 points. He's 3 of 4 from the free throw line tonight. Not sure what the officials, they're asking who the foul was on. The stat crew over there. Third personal foul on Prim. And Faison at the line. 6 points for Colt Faison. Got them both. Big free throws for Colt Faison. It is a 9-point game. 90 seconds to play in the state championship. Hadar with 2 cracks at it. He'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Foul will be called on Mike Adelph. His third. Kiko Hadar, who missed 2 free throws a moment ago, will shoot 2 here. 12 points for the senior. Student section chanting, "Stand up, Conway, stand up." And there are Wampus Cat fans all over this building who are finding their way to their feet. 13 points for Kiko Hadar. Conway and Fayetteville played in the first round of the state football playoffs. An unbelievable game that ended on a last-second desperation touchdown pass, a game that we will never forget, that we saw and had a chance to call. And this one is a minute 25 away from being another one that we can file away as one we will not forget. Mike Adelph at the line to shoot free throws. He'll shoot 2. He has 23 points tonight. In the mid-70s, high school basketball reigned in Conway. The Wampus Cats won state championships in 74 and 76. They haven't won one since. They could be minutes away from winning their 4th state championship. 24 points. 24 points for Mike Adelph. He is, of course, the connection to the mid-70s. Got them both. 25 points for the junior Delph. There's a minute 20 to play. Jack Jones kicks it out to Cochran. Long three-pointer, no good. Rebound. Purifoy. Preston Purifoy is going to be fouled, and he is, by Jacob Baxter. His 4th, and Preston Purifoy goes to the line. Preston Purifoy at the free throw line. Lots and lots of noise from the student section who I left. A 9-point lead for the Cats. Preston and Keon McNeil, these two seniors, they came on campus with all the pressure on them. They played together since the 5th grade. And they knew that they wanted to leave high school with the state championship. It has been a difficult night for Keon McNeil. He has not been 100%. Preston Purifoy, his running mate, has scored 23 points tonight, and it's a 10-point game with 1 minute to play. Loose ball, fighting for it. Jump ball, it's going to be Fayetteville basketball. 1 minute to go, 64-54. 2 timeouts remain for both teams. So many storylines with this game. The two schools played one another in football. Conway going for their first state championship in 34 years. Fayetteville looking to repeat. Their coach possibly coaching his final game of his 18-year career. The headline writers will have their choice of what to write in the papers tomorrow morning about this one. Going to the free throw line is Preston Purifoy. 64-54. Colton Prim whistled for his 4th personal foul. Preston with 24 points. Mike Adelph with 25. It is an 11-point game. $12-point game. Mike Adelph and Preston Purifoy combining for 50 points tonight with 50 seconds to play in the state championship game. Jones for 3, no good. Tipped, out of bounds. It's going to be Conway basketball. Preston Purifoy puts his arms up, claps his hands. They can finally begin to taste it. Leading by 12 with 42 seconds to play. We had a chance to sit in these seats 2 years ago and watch this team, as these guys were sophomores, lose to Catholic. A heartbreaking game. The girls won a state championship that night. That was thrilling for the girls. The Lady Cats, Coach Janet Taylor. But you felt there was just that sense of unfinished business that's about to be finished. Jacob Baxter fouls out with his 5th, and that's 13 points that he fouls out with. And Preston Purifoy, the senior, goes to the line, into the game. Keon McNeil, Tyshawn Sims, who has started all season, has been such a huge part of this team. That's just half a minute away from a state championship. And I want to bring stats on here, if we can, over at the table. You were able to hear more of what the students were chanting. What were they saying there?
Oh, they were saying, "This is our house."
This is our house.
I believe it is tonight.
Preston misses the first
He's
free
got
throw.
to be worn out.
Yeah.
He is worn out.
Well, like you said, I think he's played all, but maybe just a second or two.
I don't think he's even set out once.
Yeah.
So
he's probably appreciated the media timeouts tonight.
Absolutely.
Just so he's had an extra break.
He'll hit this one. Well.
In and out, no good. 30 seconds to go. Cochran for three. No good. Rebound to Delph. Micah Delph. And Coach Barry Gebhardt says no fouls. And that's it. That's it. The Conway Wampus Cats are going to be your state champions in Class 7A. Micah Delph, the connection to the team from the 70s. Kiko Hadar goes for the steal. And then a foul called. Hadar, for no reason, goes for the steal. That's an unfortunate move there at the end of the game, to be honest. Coach Gebhardt showing a tremendous amount of class, telling his guys not to foul. Micah Delph dribbling out the clock, and instead Hadar decides to try to go for the steal. Delph fouls him, so he doesn't get an easy layup. So Hadar will shoot two here. But all that's doing is delaying the inevitable, which is going to be a state championship for the Conway Wampus Cats and Preston Purifoy and Keon McNeil. And these seniors, the guys that don't get to play as much, who we have seen play and practice all year long, they are going to be the state champions. 5 seconds left. Micah Delph with the basketball. Preston Purifoy, Keon McNeil. Congratulations, gentlemen. You are the state champions. The 2010 7A Boys State Champions. And Coach Buzz Molding goes out with a state championship. James Bates and this team gives it to him on his way out as athletic director. And the students who were in Van Buren, who were here tonight, getting to celebrate with their team. Since 1976, Conway High School has waited, and they are now state champions. Keon McNeil with the biggest smile on his face, hugging Colt Faison, who hugs Micah Delph. 25 points apiece for Purifoy and Delph. 50 points for those two guys, and it's a 10-point win. Conway wins the state title. Preston Purifoy, you can just see it on these guys' faces, Scott. That's 3 years worth of built-up pressure that has just built and built and built, and now the exhale and the smiles of all the work since this senior class was in the 5th grade, working up to this point. If we can bring stats on here, unbelievable joy you see from these guys, and man, they earned it.
It looks like a little bit of a relief because they know they were anointed a state. They were expected to win a state title. They got it. Probably could have had two right now.
Yeah.
I remember that day. It was not a fun day, but we had to do a game after that one that day.
That's right.
And luckily our girls won it. At least brought one home that day. But I'm so proud of these guys.
And what's happening now on the court is one of the most difficult things that a team has to go through. And you know when they're 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, they'll realize that, especially this senior class for Fayetteville, they won a state championship. They came within a game of winning back-to-back. They're not smiling right now, but they're smiling on the Conway side. The Conway Wampus Cats are the Class 7A state champions. $5,900 people here tonight.
You think that man, number one, had any pressure, living up to his father?
Unbelievable.
But
again,
that's got to be a great feeling for that family to win another one.
So many storylines here with this team, and they get to hold up the banner that says we're number one. Coach James Bates, I've never seen him happier, and Coach Brian Longing.
I'm so glad that Coach Bates got it. He deserves it.
He absolutely
really deserves it.
Just a class act as this whole team is. They've been great to us. Some of the other seniors, Jordan Davis, Antoine Noble, Jay Cannon, Evan Alspaugh, and Preston Purifoy just named the MVP of the 7A tournament. 25 points tonight, 22 points last week when his running mate Keon McNeil was injured and was unable to play. He put him on his back in the second half. Coach James Bates says, take that trophy over to the students. You celebrate with your classmates. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Well, your final score tonight, 66-56. As exciting a night as there's been of Conway High School basketball since 1976, at least for the boys' side. Congratulations to Coach James Bates, to Coach Buzz Boulding. What a way to go out. For our entire Channel 5 crew, Jim Files is in the mountains of Colorado.
Jim is going to, I don't know if he's going to regret the trip, but I know he wishes he was here.
I do too. Stats, great job.
Thank you.
Scott Taylor there. For Levi Gilbert, and Doug Avra, and Braden and Matt, and the whole crew, Daniel, who was here throughout the year, not here tonight. Just been an outstanding season as we wrap up 9 years of Wampus Cat Athletics, and we wrap it up with a state championship. Congratulations to your 2010 Boys 7A state champions, the Conway Wampus Cats.